What's up, everyone, and welcome to another Bitcoin market update. In these videos, you will learn how to use technical analysis to forecast price movements in your favorite cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and others. I want to make a special announcement because this is something that I am very excited about. This is something that we've been working on over the past few weeks. We have just officially launched our Discord channel, which is Leutheria Signals. This is where you can get unlimited access to all of our trading ideas related to Bitcoin as well as Ethereum. We will no longer be sharing them on this YouTube channel in terms of where we're actually thinking about making trading and investing decisions. That will be shared on our Discord channel for educational purposes for our community members. So if you'd like to get access to that, there is a link for that in the description below for you to send us an email to get that information sent over to you right away. So definitely check that out if you're interested in generating some returns and learning how to do so through the educational content that we provide on Leutheria Signals. So I'm very excited about that. I hope you guys are as well. So let's dive into Bitcoin's chart here. Starting off with Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. Since we've opened up this monthly candle, we haven't had a lot of volatility. We potentially have set our higher low here on this previous month in June. And the reason that we think that might be the case is the declining bear volume here, as well as the longer lower wick and the shape of this candlestick with a small body here. Now, for this to become an actual low, we need to break the high of this monthly candle from June, and that's up at about $41,322. If we do that, our resistance levels that we're going to be looking at for price to potentially reject off of are going to be this R2 is going to be this R2 level up here, which is right around 46,000. If you don't know how to use the pivots indicator tool, you can check out our tutorial video here, or rather here, that will tell you exactly how to do that. It's a very easy, quick video you guys can watch to learn how to use these to your advantage as a crypto trader or investor. So let's go to the weekly time frame here. So last week we had a very, very weak follow through, and you could see people have already priced that in for this week. It's not looking very good for bullish continuation here. We did not see very much bullish follow through here from the bulls, but we did talk about the likelihood from the drawdown here for us to form that lower high. So it is likely that this was our lower high, and we will end up breaking the low here of this weekly candle at 32,680. Now, why do I say that? So I've talked about this a few times in past videos, but it really just comes down to the velocity of the move, the magnitude rather. The magnitude of this move, I mean, this is a 30% drawdown here from high to low. So what does that mean? That means for us to go from this low up to a higher high would be even more than that, and it would be 43.5%. So that's very unlikely for us to just go from 28,800 up to 41,300 over the course of a couple weeks without forming a lower high, coming down, forming a higher low, and then changing the trend to a higher high. What's far more likely is we do exactly what we're potentially doing right now, which is set the lower high, and then this candle opens, and now we're potentially going to see this be the lower high in comparison to this one, and now we'll come down to see if we can form a higher low. Now, in my opinion, it is pretty likely that we will form a higher low, and the reason for that is because the magnitude of this bounce was still 27%. So pretty nice bounce here for the bulls. I imagine we'll see some sort of pull-up somewhere in the $30,000 range. Anywhere from 32 to 30,000 is where I would expect a bounce. If we go below that, then that's probably going to just go to a new lower low. So for clarity on where we might bounce, let's go to the different lower time frames. So on the daily time frame, it's not very surprising that we're seeing this drawdown, and why is that? Well, the first thing is the 2-day time frame, which we've been talking about, this resistance level right here. So we had a push into the zone right here. We talked about going short on this channel right here. We had a nice rejection here for a nice short. Now we're coming into the zone again. I said it's likely that we'll reject off of this a second time because this is a higher time frame zone and we've only tested it once. Typically these zones take multiple tests for us to break through. So this is the second test of it. You can see we barely tested here, and now we're rejecting off of it. It's likely that when this 2-day candle closes, that will end up leading to a new low here. Now the question is, are we going to change the trend to a 2-day bear trend here? And if we do that, we can see that we have a high, low, lower high, and then if we break down below this low right here and close two 2-day candles below that, this will end up becoming a resistance zone for price for us. So that's something that I'll be keeping an eye on into the coming days. You can see the pivot level here, the daily pivot level is also rejecting price, or resisting price rather, right now. So it's not surprising that on the daily time frame we're seeing a drawdown given the 2-day resistance level, the daily pivot, and then also the precipitous decline in bull volume here over the past 3 days. So as we climbed up, it was very unlikely for us to continue after today's daily close with the bear volume that we saw continuously declining here. So where do we go to now? Where are we looking for price to either bounce from or reject off of? Well, right now we're already on our support level for price, which is over here. But the thing about this level is if we draw, let's just draw a box around this level, make it easier for us to see here. So this level is an interesting one because this has been the bull's kind of main support for several tests now. You can see, this is the clearest that this can be. Every single test is we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce, we bounce. We go below it, and every time we go below it, we only wick below it, but then we close below it here, we close back inside. Close below it here, close back inside. So we haven't gotten 2 candle closes below this zone in a very long time, or ever. Since the zone was created, it has not done anything. So, in terms of being a resistance zone. So if we push through this zone and close 2 daily candles below the zone, which is entirely possible given the trend, could potentially be continuing to be the bears right here soon, we need to keep in mind that this is going to be a resistance zone for price on a retest. So that zone starts, you can just measure it for yourself. It's the candle from Jan 31. So let's go to the lower time frames. Well, before we do, let's just briefly talk about the super guppy. So we've talked about this several times, but when this expands, the red longer term EMAs suppress price, and that's what we're seeing here. First test, I talked about this being a very significant level on the first test, these EMAs. We go into it, we reject off of it very significantly. We go into it again here, reject off of it. We go into it here, reject off of it. So these are, until these start to contract, we're not going to just go through these. So you can see on the bull side, it's the same sort of thing. When they're expanded, they're very strong support. Even when we have this sharp decline, we still just go right into them, boom, we bounce right up, bounce right up. So same exact thing on the bear side. We go into it, we reject off, we go into it, we reject off, we go into it, we reject off. Now every time we hit these, we're getting closer and closer to being able to eventually change the trend and go through these. But, they're still very much in control here in terms of the bears. Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. So if we look at this from a 4-hour perspective here, this, let's go to the 12-hour first. Briefly touch on this. So from a 12-hour perspective, here is our level right here, this black candle right here from June 28th. This is when we had our bullish trend here. We came up, we closed 2 candlesticks above the key high, but then we did not bounce off of it, and we closed 2 candlesticks below it. So this was a potential short trade right here, this candlestick. So from top to bottom, it was about a 3-point-something% trade on spot. Nice little kind of scalp there, and then we went up. It looked like we might close above this zone, but then we closed back inside of it. That was a bearish signal, and then as soon as we opened this 12-hour candle, we have been dumping ever since. So now this gray zone is not support. We closed 1 above it, but we didn't close 2, so it's not supporting price right now. So that's an important point to make, but it's also not resisting it either because we're just in the middle of it right now. So it kind of just gets negated. So let's go to the 4-hour and look at what we're dealing with there. If we look at this from a 4-hour perspective, you can see that we have had a pretty significant decline here. We pushed down pretty significantly over the last 4 hours, but since that point, we have kind of halted right around this key low here from the previous 4-hour candle back here on July 3rd. So we went down, we've wicked below this twice now. Now it depends on where these candles close. That's what we care about. So if this candle right here closes back inside, this is still a support zone. If this candle closes below it, and then we get another candle close below it, then it's going to end up being resistance. So that's what we're going to be keeping an eye on, or that's what I'm keeping an eye on rather, over the next, I would say, few days, is this 4-hour level to see if we get a bounce here or if we just continue to push right through this zone. So that's all I got for this video, guys. If you like this video, give it a like down below and subscribe for future educational content around cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. And if you haven't already, check out our Global Leutheria Telegram channel. This is a free resource that anyone is able to join. You can join a global community full of crypto enthusiasts that are learning and growing together. Today, we just had our weekly community chat where we talked about things like trading and the dynamics of returns you can expect, volatility, liquidity and herd behavior. We talked about risk mitigation and other things as well. So, it's really great to see the questions that people are asking in there, and it seems like a lot of people are getting a lot from that. So definitely check that out and see if it's something that you might be interested in. Like I said, it's something that a lot of the community members right now have been enjoying because of the fact that going into the crypto space can be pretty challenging. And so when you first get into it, there's a lot to learn. Even if you've been in it for a while, there's always more to learn because it's a rapidly expanding space with a lot of innovation occurring on a monthly basis. So it's something that, having a community of people to talk to and learn from and ask questions to really does benefit you in the long run as well as the short term. So check that out. And until tomorrow, onward and upward.